from Reading in the United Kingdom of Britain. I drink alcohol. I enjoy beer, and you know, it's just a great little drink. My favourite drink. I don't know if you guys have it this side of the pond. It's called Desperados. It's a tequila flavoured beer. You get addicted to it pretty quickly. Not in a bad way. I don't have to go to like AA meetings or anything like that. It's just like, you know, it's tequila flavoured, so you drink it like water. I need to cut down though, generally. Well, for the main part, like in London, you can buy beer out on like in these things called off licenses, which are just open quite late, and they just sell. They're just like mini supermarkets basically. They have the license obviously to sell alcohol out of hours or whatever as well. Going out in Canada, all they have is beer stores, which Tricky P actually introduced us to like the first time. We just walked into this like, it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but for beer basically, which was quite an experience, and it was like pristine. The way that all these beers were like stacked up, like just it wasn't even any other alcohol, it was literally just beer. You have to cover it up with like that classic stereotypical brown bag, basically. But otherwise, it's basically exactly the same. You know, we have clubs and bars. Well, we don't really have bars. We have pubs. You know, which is basically just like a bar, but everyone's a lot older in there. And it starts at 11 AM, and they've just been sitting there. Just like your granddad's there, he's brought the whole team. He's sitting there with a pint of, we have this drink called Guinness. You guys have that over here, right? I don't really like it that much, to be honest. But yeah, but it's, you know, they'll be there. They'll just, you know, from like 10 AM, drinking strong the entire way through the day, basically. Downing it like they're in bloody 1972. I'm so hungover. They sometimes they just get like a rack of all of the ales in the pub. Just a shot. That are just brought out for them, kind of thing, and say, "Oh, I'll try this one today." Sorry, that was just hyperbole for an interview. Thank you very much. It's the best OJ in the whole of this hotel. Yeah. I hang out with Liam Bagnall from time to time. Bloody great guy. Yeah, I don't hang out with him as much as I'd like to be honest. So Liam, if you're watching, make it happen more often, to be honest. Well, this wasn't actually with Liam because unfortunately he couldn't make it to Blackout 5. After we'd finished our battles, Blackout 5. Obviously, like once you finish a battle, kind of thing, like everything's out of the way, so you just immediately start drinking like straight away as soon as you're done, kind of thing, to get through the rest of this long battle rap day where you just have to stand and be stood up the entire day. Although at Blackout you could actually be sat down. Anyway, everyone went out to a bar literally just opposite our hotel. So I've been drinking pretty much the whole day, so I was already pretty waved by that point. I ordered some food. This is important, it will come back. We're all sort of stood around. It was me with Shuffle, Bender and Bender's girlfriend. We were all like on a or his friend, I don't know. And we were all just she was female, notably. I was chatting to her. Yeah, we were just having a conversation with her, obviously quite drunk already. And then, like, next thing I know, Shuffle comes up with a bunch of bloody shots in his hand, tequila shots, yeah, because he's a bloody do-gooder. And he comes out and he puts them down on the table and he says, "A round of shots for everyone, please." Now, you can see by, like, the way that I'm built, generally, this wasn't going to go down well for a man of my feeble, wafer-thin physique. And indeed, it went exactly as the plot would have been predicted. I basically, like everyone, you know, the effects of peer pressure hit me. Everyone was taking their shot of tequila. I was already massively drunk. I do not respond well to shots. Had a shot. Immediately knew that I was going to be sick at some point that night. I didn't quite expect it to be as soon as it was, but Bender's girlfriend is just talking to me, like actually talking at me at this point, and then like I can feel it coming up, I know what's going to happen, kind of thing, and then just all of a sudden, obviously like because I'm quite drunk, I'm not thinking about like going outside or anything like that, but it just comes up much quicker than I thought it would, and I sort of moved my hand to my mouth and sort of gated the initial sort of surge of ejection, and it sort of made this kind of weird spouting motion. Now I only had one pair of trousers, pants, with me in Canada, and just like had this massive fucking like spurge of vomit on my fucking like trousers. So immediately, as soon as that happened, right, I just pole vaulted over this like railing behind me and just like made for a beeline for the door, ran across to the to my hotel, and just spent the entire rest of the night just trying to wash my trousers in the tap there. And everyone went out, and I just had to like stay back there because I didn't have any trousers at all to go out at all. So I met Adam, Shuffle T. We were actually in the same film class in college. I guess you call it high school here. What we call college, you guys call high school, and what you call college, we call university. I was actually directing films and making short films at the time, and he was an actor, and so got him involved in a couple of projects, and we just kind of met that way. And he actually introduced me to rap. I obviously knew about rap before, like, I was, 18 at this point. But yeah, he kind of introduced it to me in kind of a different light, I suppose, and I started appreciating like more stuff like multis and flow and all that shit, all that important stuff. These eggs are bloody amazing. So we met that way, and we actually started watching Don't Flop around that same time. This was about 2009 when it sort of first started in the UK. So we were there when Disaster punched Math Hoffa. Yeah. I got the t-shirt, I survived. Obviously, as a couple of well-mannered Brits coming over to California for the first time, that was quite the culture shock. To be honest, the entire experience of Cali for us just felt like one big kind of like GTA scenario. But yeah, Disaster punched Math Hoffa at the end of our event. We'd already had our battle and everything like that, and we were up safely on the stage area. You could see just behind, basically, from where the camera is filming. We were sort of stood right at the back there. Nonetheless, though, as soon as it happened, Shuffle made the quickest beeline to the door that had ever happened. As soon as just like really smoothly, like moving, like it was basically like a sped up walk. It was kind of like you could play the Benny Hill theme music over it or something like that. I stood there because I'm just made of sterner stuff. So Pedro is just like the most fascinating human being to me. I mean, he genuinely like amazing, like so funny, obviously, battling and just everything like that kind of thing. But like, I think it's safe to say that he and I are very much cut from two completely different cloths. You know, you got a tablecloth over here and a facial wipe here. I don't know where this analogy is quite going, but Pedro actually came up to me genuinely at an event, and it wasn't. I kind of embellished it in our battle a little bit more than it was, but he as far as I remember anyway, because it was a while ago, he came up and he had his passport, which he was using for ID at the event kind of thing, and he sort of showed me his real name, but he sort of said it like not quite, like he kind of said it like, oh, it's this or it's that or some shit, like kind of thing, like, and it was just, so I kind of used that to my advantage in the battle, just by going like making it out as if he actually didn't know his own name. Pedro is a particularly fascinating human. I love that guy. I love that guy so much. Like, I literally, there's not, I mean, every single battle I see of his is just incredible. When I was traveling in Australia, this was like 5 years ago or something like that. My first night in Sydney, I was just drinking with a whole bunch of people that I'd met in the like dorm room I was staying in or whatever, in the hostel. In Australia, they have this thing called goon, which is basically really cheap shit white wine that is like made out of like fish sperm, but it gets you very drunk very quickly. We end up down in this, like in the hostel or the hotel club. There was like the club at like the bottom of this this hostel. Was called Wake Up Hostel in Sydney. I mean, I was just absolutely fucked. Like, this was the first night that I didn't know anyone in Sydney. I'd literally just met all these people. None of them had my back or anything like that. It wasn't like they were gonna like be looking out for me or anything like that. So at one point, apparently, I was just, and I have flashes of this, like, just swaying on the dance floor like a fucking creep, just there, just like kind of with a center of gravity just like very firmly held. And next thing I know, the bouncer is just like throw me out of the club. I'm trying to fight this bouncer. I mean, he's literally like me, just trying to fight, like obviously got so much bravado from this, just like trying to fight this fucking bouncer, just swinging for him and stuff, and it's just like my hardest punch feels like a flea bite. So they chuck me out. Next thing I know, and again I just sort of remember this in flashes because I was just so gone. Guy like comes up and he puts his arm around me and just starts walking away. It's just like, it was almost like, at the time I remember him being just like this voice of reason, and he just goes, you know what, don't worry about him, you're better than them, like kind of thing, like walking along, this is weird like guy, sort of looked like Weird Al Yankovic as far as I remember. Walked me for a while like to a certain place, and then I was just like, this was like about 2 or 3 a.m. I was just like walking around Sydney, no idea where I'm going, no idea what I'm doing, like trying to get back to my hostel because I'd been walked away from it clearly. So eventually somehow I got back after about like 3 or 4 hours. The next morning my wallet was missing. With the bank, luckily it took a lot of like persuading kind of, I had to go and like sort that out, but like I was only in Sydney for 5 days, and literally by some miracle on the 5th day that I was there, right before I was catching my flight, I get a call from the police who say that someone's handed in my wallet. But it was like fucking 50 towns down the road from Sydney. Like I had to like get on a train, and apparently it was found in Sydney in the park, but they'd taken it back home and then handed it into their local police station rather than the one in Sydney.